In this lesson, you will learn on the optional else, continue, and break statements that can be used in loops. Both types of loops, that is, the for loop and the while loop, can have an optional else clause. To understand the else clause, let's write the code to solve this problem. The problem is to generate positive odd numbers up to the number given as input. Here is the code to do that. First, you take the input from the user, convert it to an integer using the int function, and then save it in the variable n. This variable n is then used in the range function with a start value of 1, step value of 2 to generate odd numbers all the way from 1 to the number n, but not including n. And then we finally print those numbers. If the sequence is exhausted, then it will not enter the for block anymore, at which time it jumps to the else block. If the input number is 10, the for block iterates the range sequence values one at a time and prints out all the odd numbers. And then finally, when all the iterations are complete, the else block is executed. If the input is -1, then the for loop jumps to the else block as the range function does not produce a sequence for -1 as the stop value. The same results can be obtained by using the while loop also. Here, we add a variable x to help iterate the necessary number of times. And here also, you can use the else block. Next, we will look into loops which never end its execution, also called as infinite loops. You can create an infinite loop, that is, a loop that never stops, with a while loop by setting the conditional with a true value. In this case, the program never ends on its own. You have to force it to quit executing, and of course, there are a few methods to do this. If you're working on the Colab, then you can stop this infinite loop by pressing the execution icon on the left. For standalone programs, you can use Control C, or if that does not work, you can power down your computer, at which time the program gets killed. Now, let us understand the break statement. Programmatically, any loop can be stopped if the program of execution encounters a break statement during the loop execution. In this simple program, although the while loop is coded with a true literal for the conditional, thereby making it an infinite loop, the loop still ends when the value of I equals 2. As soon as the I value becomes 2, it enters the if block, which is inside the while loop, and then encounters the break statement, which breaks out of the loop. Whenever a break statement is encountered, the enclosing loop iteration is stopped, and the program of execution jumps out of the loop. Finally, let us look into the continue statement. Continue is also used within a loop construct. While the break breaks out of the loop completely, continue skips the rest of the statements after the continue and jumps to the next iteration of the loop. And if the conditional is satisfied, it enters the loop again. So when I is equal to 2, the program hits the continue statement, and then it skips the print statement, which is after the if block, and then it continues the loop, checking the conditional again. And here is the output of this program.